Nothing says Cheltenham more than a cracking offer from Paddy Power. It's money back as a free bet on all losers if the starting price favourite wins in the first race every day of the festival. Max free bet £10, T's and C's apply. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome along to the Racing Postcast. I'm Bruce Millington. We're looking at day 3 of the Cheltenham Festival, and in the company of Paddy Power's Paul Binfield, Alistair Down, Paul Keeley, and what do we call you now? International Racing Advisor Brendan Duke, isn't it? Yep. That'll do, won't it? Okay. Hopefully we've got some really good bets for you, and hopefully we can give the bookies some stick. Right then, we start off on day 3.
No, we don't. We start off with this suit.
Well,
this is a revelation. Paul in a tweed 3-piece suit. He can usually be a shell suit, but look at this. I mean,
I really rate that. I've got to say,
well, the stuff you can get at these charity shops, amazing.
I don't know why you're giving it the big one. You've got tweed underpants and pyjamas.
No, barber.
Okay, well anyway, Paul Binfield wins the best turned out. Yes. We'll see if he wins the best judge. We'll start with the GLT. Paul, what are the latest prices from Paddy Power?
Just a quick ad, Bruce. We're going to go in the first 4 races tomorrow. We're going to go money back all losers. If the SP favourite wins to the usual £10 stake, so that everyone can have a bet. In the JLT, we're 3-1 favourite invitation only, 4 Terryfort, 6 Benatar Finian and Finian's Oscar, 13-2 Modus, and it's 8-1 bar.
Okay, we'll start with Brendan Dew. Who's going to win the GLT, Brendan?
Terrafor. I think these things have really come up. Terrafor. And a normal Cheltenham, I wouldn't fancy him, but he relished the ground. I think that surname form is very strong in the context of this race. Not much of a race, really. I thought Terrafor was a good bet.
Okay, Kills, before we look at this race and indeed the meeting, what do we expect the terrain to be on the Thursday? Because I think basically we're heading for a lot of overnight rain, aren't we?
Yeah, it's going to hammer it down. It'll be at least as bad as it was on the first day. It's probably dried out very much for the second day, but by Thursday it'll be boggy again.
Okay, so who's going to win the JLT?
Well, I don't think Terrafor, because if you look at his form in France, it's 0 from 6 on a left-handed track, and it's got a couple of heavy defeats to its name, where it's won 4 out of 6 and been 2 seconds going right-handed. I think that might be a worry. I think the most talented horse in the race is undoubtedly Finian's Oscar, and if he gets it right, he's had a wind up, he's got the cheek pieces on. I mean, they're throwing everything at him. He's fresh, but he's the best horse in the race, and if he jumps, I think he'll win.
Aren't you cold?
I'm freezing, yeah. It's supposed to be the mild. They said it was going to be the mildest day of the week this day this morning. I can't believe it.
Yeah. They do these things called coats, I believe.
Right, hurry up, anyway.
You can afford to buy one after Q-Star Savola on day 1. I like the chance of Big Marcher each way at a long price. Really jumps well, and he'll love this place. And you're taking a chance on the likes of Finian's Oscar. As you say, they're throwing everything at him. I'll a bit of Big Marcher each way.
And Binners.
I think I'll go for Modus, Bruce, for the Somerset sorcerer Paul Nicholls. He's only been beaten once, fell at Exeter, had a confidence booster when odds on at Kempton last month, and I think he's a nice horse at a fair price.
We don't have enough nicknames, do we? What would we call you? The Cotswold
Thunderer.
Right, what are we on to now? The Potemps, aren't we? Blimey, this is a tough one. How do we bet here, Binners?
We're 7 Glenlow, 9 Louis Van Vac Pouch, Sort It Out, 11 Delta Work, 12 Who Dares Wins and a Great View, 14 Bar Bruce.
And you can go first, Binners.
Okay, I think I'll go for Louis Vac Pouch in a very competitive race. Richard Johnson was quite sweet on this at a preview that myself and Kills were at last week. The horse won at Aintree in November really impressively in a qualifier, hasn't been seen since, so this has obviously been the target.
Big Al?
I quite like Louis Vac Pouch. I'm worried about Philip Hobbs' horses. They're having the old winner, but they're not firing.
You said that about Tom George before the Supreme, didn't they?
No, I didn't, but they did, yes. I'll go with Louis Vac Pouch.
Keels?
Quite like the look of Eddie Hart's Sort It Out. He was what you call really eye-catching last time out. First time over 3 mile. Dead easy for third. Now the equal third Delta Work is in the same race, and the BHA handicapper left Delta Work on the same mark and put up Sort It Out £6. I actually think that was very fair, because it could have been a lot closer. Last time he came to Cheltenham, he was second to Wicklow Brave in the county hurdle, and he wants a trip now.
I've spoken to Eddie Harty several times the last few days, including yesterday. He just wonders whether it might be vulnerable to some improver from below him, but I think he'll be in the frame.
Brendan, have you sussed this?
No, I likely sit this one out, Bruce. I had an anti-post bet, but the rain is going to scupper that. Very tentative selection for a great view. Second in the qualifier at Leopardstown, but very tentative.
Okay, it's all about quality in the next segment of the show.
Nothing says Cheltenham more than a cracking offer from Paddy Power. It's money back as a free bet on all losers if the starting price favourite wins in the first race every day of the festival. Max free bet £10, T's and C's apply. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org.
Okay, let's look at the Ryanair Chase. Not many runners, but there's some real stars on show, and the potential story of the week if Q-Card can somehow roll back the ears and get his head in front. What's the latest betting, please, Binners?
Well, we're 10 to 11 under so, Bruce. 5 to 2 Duvan, 5 Q-Card, 7 Cloudy Dream, 15 to 2 Balco Desfloss, and it's 9 to 1 bar.
And what happens with the bets if, as we assume, Duvan doesn't run?
You'll get your money back, as we've been non-runner no bet for a long time, and unless you backed it before that. Sorry? Rule 4s. I'm not a great man on Rule 4s. I'll leave that to the traders. But
It sounds like with the prices they're going, it sounds like they're going to ignore Duvan, because 10 to 11, 5 to 1, that's 70 straight away, and then you have the others. I don't think they're going to include Duvan for Rule 4 purposes.
marvellous when you get a former Paddy Power trader on the panel who can help out there.
Who actually knows what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly, Alistair. And if you backed it in the last 48 hours, obviously you're going to get your money back.
All right, Binners, I thought you were going to say something interesting there. Alistair, who wins it?
I mean, it's head over heart here. I mean, the place would just erupt if Q-Card won, and everyone would love it. It's probably the most popular chaser in trading this side of the water, but I just can't see it. It's my age.
Do you think the fav's a good thing, Kills?
No. Does anyone know which horse has the highest racing post rating in the last 12 months in this race?
Well, I know that you like Balco de Flow, so I'm going to say Balco de Flow.
No.
Frodon.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Frodon, last 2 runs at Cheltenham, won the Caspian Caviar Gold Cup 2016, absolutely bolted up on trials day. 2nd and 4th, Shantou Flyer, Q-Star Stivler, beat them out of sight. Now, ran next time at Asker and was just really, really free, and I'd ignore that run. He's coming back to Cheltenham, he loves it. I really, really think that Undersow is vulnerable over 2 mile 5, especially if we get the rain and it's bottomless. They all say he settles so well now, but that's a 2 mile. He carted Ruby to the front last year. He was 5 lengths in front, jumping the last. He was a length and 3/4 up at the line, and he was being pushed out. I think he's vulnerable, and Frodon is almost a complete rag, and that's just a wrong price.
It's a shame there isn't 8 runners, isn't there, Kills?
Well, listen. I think there will be. I think there will be a Rule 4, because I was working it out the other day, and it only come to just about 100 without or just under 100 without Duvan. But even so, 14 to 1 Frodon in a place you can get. I think he should be about 6 to 1.
When did you get off Balco de Flow? You've been tipping that for ages.
Yeah, I have, but the ground is bottomless. I tipped it on the fact that it would be decent ground, or on the hope that it would be decent ground. He won a Galway Plate on decent ground, and he was tanking along in the JLT on it last year. But soft ground and heavy ground really worries me.
Who's your Ryanair fancy, Brendan?
Well, Paul has stolen my notes. I think it's a match. I like Undersow. I'm not brave enough to back Frodon to beat him, but I will be backing it without, because process of elimination, Bruce, Q-Card, massive run in the Ascot Chase the last day, a race that I think I've read some evocative phrases from Alistair, and he once said about a race that it was red in tooth and claw, and that Ascot Chase really was. I don't think Q-Card will back up off that run. Ground's no good for Balco. I'd lay Cloudy Dream in a walkover. Frodon, I know you can get inflated figures in a handicap, but it will relish the heavy ground, loves the track. Without the fav, it's a bet.
Oh, are you in the Frodon fan club, Binners?
Not really, Bruce. It was very funny seeing Brendan at Ascot last time when Undersow won. He seems to have joined the Undersow fan club in the pink and light blue scarf. I think he might have a girlfriend connected with the horse, actually. But I'm going to go against him as well. I fancy Cloudy Dream. I think Ruth Jefferson, who's handled the post-death of her popular father Malcolm so well. She could have run Waiting Patiently in this. She's going with Cloudy Dream, and I think he's the one for me.
You're going to give Kills hypothermia the rate you're going, like Brendan Duke.
I
There's plenty
apologise.
of subcutaneous layers to keep him warm.
Okay, next up we've got the stayers, and this is a real good betting heat. Not necessarily the highest quality stayers of all time, but a really competitive betting heat, isn't it, Paul? What's the latest prices?
Yeah, we're 7-2 Sam Spinner, 4 Apples Jade, 9-2 Yanworth, 11-2 Super Sunday, 8 Bacardis, and you know what I mean, Harry, and 12 Bar.
And you still might not have mentioned the winner. Who do you think the winner will be, Al?
Well, I've been with Sam Spinner since November at silly prices. I saw him run at Chepstow. First time up, he got beat, but I rang Jed O'Keefe and I said, I don't think I've seen a horse with that attitude to really want it in years. And he went and won the big hurdle on Betfair Chase there. Haydock bolted up 17 lengths. Young Colliver picked up a grand fine for knocking lumps out of it when it was that far clear. Then won the long walk. It loves deep ground. It's vulnerable in the sense it's got to go off in front. It's the only way it does it, but it just keeps finding. When the cavalry get to it, he says, right, go again. I passed on a huge message for Bacardis from Willie Mullins' yard, stepping up to 3 and working the house down was what I was told. But I love Sam Spinner.
Okay, Keels, you've drunk a few Bacardis in your time. Will you tip Bacardis?
I have. No, I won't. I think it's a fascinating race. It's very hard. Sam Spinner. My only worry is that the jockey's had only 3 more rides than I have around the track, and I think this track takes some riding, doesn't it, Alistair? You know what I mean? To be honest, he hasn't done anything wrong on the horse. It's not a criticism of the jockey. It's just a lack of experience. I don't give Super Sunday any chance at all. I just don't think he's got a prayer of staying in the ground that it's going to be. And I think the forgotten horse of the race is, you know what I mean, Harry, who was odds on last year in third at Nichols Canyon. There won't be a horse as good as Nichols Canyon in the race. And he had questions to answer on good ground last year, but he loves soft ground. That remains the only defeat he's had at Cheltenham in his life. And another one, Harry Fry says, is just working an awful lot better now than he was earlier in the season.
Okay, Brennan, this can be a bit of a procession, this race, can't you? Think back to Big Bucks and all those other great horses that have won this multiple times. This is a different race. It's a really fascinating betting heat, isn't it?
It certainly is. I mean, Super Sunday, of course, is no longer fab because of this weather that's coming in. I'm going to stick with Super Sunday because I like to back the best horse of the race, and he could get out to 7 or 8 to 1 because the books are going to be out to get him. But I will be having a saver on, you know what I mean, Harry, for the reasons Paul outlined.
Okay, jolly good. And Binners, who's your pick?
I think I'm going to go for the new one each way, Bruce.
Oh, you old sentimentalist, eh?
Listen, you've got to stick with the Cotswolds, haven't you, Alistair? Sam Twiston Davis thinks he'll stay to 3 miles. His father isn't quite convinced, but he always runs a good race at Cheltenham, and he just could have the class for this field.
Imagine that, Q card and the new one winning. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, everyone will run out of handkerchiefs and it'll be fantastic.
Who knows, should be fascinating.
Nothing says Cheltenham more than a cracking offer from Paddy Power. It's money back as a free bet on all losers if the starting price favourite wins in the first race every day of the festival. Max free bet £10, T's and C's apply. 18+ BeGambleAware.org.
3 more races to look at on Thursday, starting with the, the 10 past 4. It's the Plate, the Brown Advisory Plate, formerly known as the Mildmay Fleet. And how do Paddy Power bet, Paul Binfield?
7, Tully Easton Move with the Times, 8, the Storyteller and King's Sock, 12, the Last Goodbye, and 14, Bar.
Paul Keeley?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of horses at the front of the market that have been gossiped about recently. King Sox, who had a little look around Kempton on his first start for Martin Pipe. Tully East, obviously, who won the Close Brothers. And Move with the Times, who's apparently been working the house down, having been to Martinstown for a few weeks before going back to Paul Nicholls. But this race is routinely won by a rag, and very often by horses that are older than you'd expect. I think 5 of the last 10 winners have been 9 or older. One who interests me is the 11-year-old Ballyalton. Now, you have to forgive him for being pulled up at Kempton last time, but that was over 3 miles stepping up. He was massively free. He was 4th in the Bet Victor Gold Cup. He was then 4th in the Caspian Caviar Gold Cup, and he's when he's been right, he's been a bit of a Cheltenham specialist. He was 2nd of Foheen in the old Neptune 4 years ago, and 2 years ago he won the Close Brothers.
And it's Ian Williams trained, so if it's fancied, there will be money for it. They're very well found in the market, his horses.
Yeah, but he's 20 to 1 at the moment though, so I think that's a fair price. He might be 11
when you finish.
You do love an old horse, Kills. Brendan, who do you love?
I like Last Goodbye. I thought he put up one of the handicap performances of the season in Leopardstown, and unlike a lot of the horses at the front end of the market, he will like the ground. The handicapper hasn't missed that run in Leopardstown, and the English handicappers put him up £2, but I think he can cope.
Fat Al?
Sorry? I really like Drumcliff of Harry Fry's in this.
Have you had the word, or is this a
No,
form
no,
fancy?
I'm afraid I've worked this out myself, so people are just switching off, including your good self. No, I do. I mean, it must be a price. Must be 20 to 1, mustn't it, Drumcliff?
Sadly, the Cheltenham internet's not too good at the moment.
25s.
25.
25.
you.
So that's an each-way strike, isn't it?
Okay. Have you got a reason?
Yeah, I think it's going to win.
Okay, that'll do. Paul Binfield.
I think I'll go with Move with the Times. I've been keen on this horse for a while. I think he would have run well in the JLT or the RSA if he'd gone there. They're going the handicap route, and Paul's just filled me in on going back to Move Martinstown for a little while. So that's interesting, and so I'll stick with him.
Yeah, I think I back Move with the Times for the Tuesday race about 10 minutes before they started doing non-runner no bet. That wasn't great. Okay, it's the Mares Novices now, and we've got a hot pot, haven't we, Paul?
We have got a hot pot. 8 to 13, this Willie Mullins Lorena. 11 to 2 Maria's Benefit. 8 Salsaretta. 12 Countester. 14 Bar.
Someone described Lorena as picking money off the street, Brendan. Would you concur?
I'm going to take her on. I made the mistake of taking her on in running when she won in Fairy House. I hit the pink button till it turned red. She was so keen. It was an amazing performance for a mare to run that keen and still have lots of energy. She obviously has a massive engine, but in really taxing ground, if she pulls that hard again, at that kind of a price, I'd take her on. There's another Willie Mullins one, Cut the Mustard, who had a bit of a reputation at the start of the season, blew out at short prices the first twice. She was won a boat race, granted, the last day, but at least she won. And if she was as good as they thought at the start of the season, she's 40 to 1. It might chance her each way.
Binners, who do you like?
Well, this Lorena has been working better than Let's Dance and horses like that, but I'm going to go for Nicky Henderson's second string, Dame de Compagnie at 20 to 1.
They do all these French ones. They're just in for you, aren't they?
Yeah, they know that I passed that French O level.
Pass it by.
Well, listen, grade B when O levels for O levels. But anyway,
Go on.
she got beaten a fag paper at Ascot, and she's good form before that. Apparently, Nicky Henderson loves Countester and Dame de, so I'll go for the outsider of the two.
Okay, Alistair, is this quite simple, the Mares Novice?
You can't play. Lorena's meant to be a good thing.
Kills, I thought Maria's Benefit, I thought it went off far too far in front at Newcastle and came back to. I think she might be a bit better than that. Is there a little each way play there or not?
Yeah, well, it's funny. She was rated 152 before that, and the handicap had dropped to £5, which I thought was a bit strange because she did look really good. But if they go that fast again, then there's going to be some trouble. And when it comes to Cheltenham and the big roar and that, you might worry about it. And she's had a bit of a hold up. By all accounts, this Lorena is, go down, come back, pick it up. But I'm going to have a tiny little bit back each way on Cap Soleil. I just think she's a very, very nice mare with a future, and she will be staying on very strongly in this race over 2 miles.
Okay, we round off the Thursday card with the Kim Muir, and it's the horse that no one can spell his favourite, I think, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, I can't say it either, Bruce. 9 to 2 Squirter, 5 Maldini, 10 Sugar Baron, 11 Pendra, and it's 12 Bar.
You can go first, Ben.
Okay, I think I'll go for this Missed Approach at 12 to 1, Bruce. Ran really well in the National Hunt Chase last year, runner-up, second last time, and apparently had a wind operation since, so you never know with these wind ops.
Okay, Alistair?
Well, Mr. Broach has been disappointing. It's always a horse that they thought the world of. A wind up might make a huge difference. Pendra has been, third of 19, fifth of 24 and second of 19, including second in this last year.
And got one of the two jockeys you want in the race on board.
Got one of the two jockeys you want in the race, Derek O'Connor. So I think that's got a chance. But the one I like, I think, a little bit more is Bracker Door of Paul Nichols's with Mr. Bidicon. Was a good fourth in the Ladbrokes Trophy, nay Hennessy. And seems to have been kept by for this, I think.
Thank you, Alistair. Kills, who do you like?
Yeah, no, I'm all over Mr. Approach. I don't believe that for a minute he should be a double-figure price. I think he's actually run well all 3 starts this season. The one thing he doesn't do is he doesn't stay 4 mark when the ground is soft, and that's what happened to Musselburgh. He just got tired. But he does want deep ground, and a 3 mile round here is just going to suit him down to the ground. He's dropped £10 since the start of the season.
Second here last year, wasn't he?
He was second in 4 mile last year, but on decent ground. And a 3 mile on bottomless ground is absolutely perfect for him. And I cannot have the front two. Squatter is a routine disappointment as favourite for every big handicap he runs in. Maldini.
Bermuda Triangle for punches cash, isn't it?
And Maldini is 0 from 9 over fences, and I can't have that.
Keels, you know we always like to throw a music question in. Who had a hit with Bermuda Triangle?
Absolutely no idea.
Not a clue.
Barry Manilow. Who wins the Kinmure?
I'm going to chance final nudge. I think this trip on the heavy ground are his optimum conditions. Travelled really well, ran a huge race in the Welsh National. I think it was just too quick back at Sandown the next day. I think he's got a real chance.
Okay, and finally the Thursday naps. Just one horse for people to back on the Thursday. Paul Binfield
Cloudy Dream
in the
Ryanair Chase.
and Alistair
Sam Spinner.
in the Stayers. Keels
Missed approach.
in the last, and Brendan.
I'll go with Frodon without the Fav and the Ryanair.
Jolly good. Thank you very much. Back tomorrow to look at Gold Cup Day.
Nothing says Cheltenham more than a cracking offer from Paddy Power. It's money back as a free bet on all losers if the starting price favourite wins in the first race every day of the festival. Max free bet £10. T's and C's apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.